Okay, so like many people live paycheck to paycheck. There's nothing wrong with that, earning a paycheck and you're trying to make things work. But there are some ways that can make living paycheck to paycheck a lot less stressful. Hi, I'm Jan. Welcome to the Save Money and More with Jan channel. I purposely put the swimming tropical fish behind my image. I posted that behind my image on purpose because sometimes living paycheck to paycheck can be stressful. We have to do things to reduce our stress. I'm telling you, because being stressed out is just not fun. So just kick back, maybe make a cup of tea or something, come back, stop, pause the video. By the way, pausing the videos are a great thing to do whenever you want to sit down with a cup of joe or a cup of tea. All you have to do is press pause, go over, make your tea, coffee, or whatever, milk, whatever drink you're having, and then you come back and you view the video. I do believe in life that things are strategic sometimes, strategic in results, but I also don't believe in overtly complicating things. Sometimes we ask for over complications and just bite off more than we can chew, and at the end of the day, that may not be the best advantage. So I'm going to, excuse me, please. I'm going to break down how I started to really begin to accelerate savings and know that I felt better when I was, doing the paycheck to paycheck thing like so many people do. All right. One thing that I always like to do is make sure that my fixed bills are paid. We know what they are. There are basic needs, there are basic necessities, and I sure wish my sore throat wasn't acting up. Hang on one second. I am so sorry. There you go. But anyway, and by the way, some of the best strategies would have included me bringing my own cup of tea here. Hello, Janet. Take your own advice with the tea. But I figured something out. I said, I don't want to do things complicated. This was a number of years back. Okay. And when I was a school teacher, I have to say, parochial school teachers do not, big capital NOT, do not make a ton of money. Not to be confused with some other type of teachers, but parochial school teachers in the elementary world do not make a ton of money. So back then I said, I have to have a strategy. I have to have a strategy that works. And the strategy that worked for me is, guess what? For me, the main thing, I wanted to make sure that all my important bills were paid. And I let everything else like fall into place. That's exactly it. Just that simple. I mean, it's not rocket science. It was not rocket science. But the thing is, how did I get that amount? Okay, so I would sit down and I would literally calculate. Remember the old days when people had an actual calculator? Now everybody has a calculator because as long as you have a smartphone, you, me, we have calculators at all times. Okay. We have to use them more often. But even back then, this is like way back in the middle 80s. Yeah, middle 80s. I said, I just want to always make sure that my bills are paid and be able to put something away towards, emergency fund or whatever. All right. So that's what I did. I sat down, played a little soft music, got free of distraction. That day my daughter had a play date, with her friends, and it was nice and quiet. I do believe in doing things, when you're not distracted, when you're calm, your mind is clear. It's not a great idea to always work running on empty. So I made sure that I did not do that day. All right. So what I did was I added up all of my fixed expenses. And I said, this is exactly what I need. And I wasn't shy about it because I figured out some extra things. I consider putting away a little bit of money every single month as part of a personal bill. Now, this mentality, or should I say, this strategy is actually quite important. Why would I do that? It's important to have enough money for short term emergencies or to have a budget buffer, to have things that come up that you do not expect. So some people get scared of the thought of the word of emergency fund and they didn't begin one. Start small, start something, start anything. This is one of the reasons that I started to go in this direction on this channel. I think there are a lot of people who are so willing and really want to, and that's another myth we have to break. A lot of people think just because of their income, some people are lower income. That's okay. You could be lower income and you could still save. Have a strategy. It might take a little longer. So, a great consideration would be even to take on a couple of side hustles or even a temporary job. Hit that goal, and that works. As a matter of fact, this is what I want to jump to now. So during those years when I was teaching, naturally I had an entire summer off, and yes, teachers do. Well, at least in my school, teachers do get paid during the summer. I used to wonder that when I was a kid. I used to say, "Are they getting paid for being off for 2 months?" You know, when you're a young child, you wonder about that. Yes, they do get paid, but that's also the greatest opportunity because that 2.5 months, I would take on little small side hustles or my own little business, or I would do anything. I would, babysit for some people, for cash, for fast cash. And I say fast cash because the people that wanted me to help out, they were really, really quite generous in their pay. And I even told them so. They were like, no, 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 we'd rather know that, my child's in good hands. So when you earn a really good reputation in life. So any way that I could, I figured out a way. I figured out a strategy to put things away. Can I tell you? It took away a bunch of anxiety. And for that, the anxiety of thinking, now a lot of people are constantly worried about their bills. No one should have to live a life of continuous worry about bills. Yes, we should have concern about our bills. Yes, we need to do the right thing. We need to pay our bills. And that's a very, very important thing to do. But we also should come up with some sort of a plan. The plan does not need to be complicated. If a person is finding that they are not meeting their expenses, common sense dictates that there's one of two things. One, cut down on that expense or cut out that expense, okay? Or two, the other strategy is to increase income. Now, that doesn't mean one has to take on a job, a second or third job forever and ever and ever and ever. It doesn't mean that because people have to do name it and claim it goals, okay? And my goal at that time was I wanted to begin by having that strategy that I am always ahead of the game. I'm always ahead of the game by having all those, bills and expenses already. I know that the money will be available to be paid. Can I tell you that is a great way to de-stress? I have to laugh at some stuff. I don't mean to be rude laughing. There are a lot of people who suffer, with low incomes and struggle, and they want to get their mind off their troubles. Some people, not all, some people choose the route of, try to save and, work a little longer or harder or cut back, and they win the goal. But some people think that, let me forget about my troubles by spending money on an expensive vacation. Tell me where does that fit into the sense of logic? To me, I'm sorry. To me, well, I'm putting it on my card. Right. You're not feeling the pinch yet because using your credit card delays feeling the pinch. But guess what? The next month still comes, and the next month still means you have to pay. So trying to forget your troubles by going on an expensive trip, to me, is just a weird way of delaying the pain. What's the real pain? The real pain for many people is real. And the real pain for many people is that their bills aren't being met. That's the mental anguish. That's the anxiety. And the feeling is real. It is a real feeling when people are concerned about meeting their monthly, and I'm talking about like basic needs. I'm not even, I'm not like talking about the frou-frou stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. It's just really crazy. There's the other thing that people should also make sure that there is some sort of a fund for some sort of unexpected bills. We know our fixed bills. We're comfortable with that number, well, so to speak, if you know what I'm saying. But okay, So we're used to that number. Maybe maybe that's a better way of putting it. Okay. All right. So we're used to that number. But what happens when an unexpected bill arises? Like, what? Yeah, that can happen to you, me, and to anyone. Here, there, and everywhere. I'm just saying. So we need to be ready for that possibility. We need to be ready for short term emergencies. We need to be ready for things that come up randomly. You see, it's those little random expenses that could be concerning. But for now, we're just going to dial it back and keep it simple. I always loved that practice, that thought. KISS. Keep it simple, sweetie. Ever hear that? Ever hear that as a business term? Keep it simple, sweetie. So, for the person who would like to get started, and it could be of any age, okay? No judgment here whatsoever. Trying is succeeding. So, let's start by knowing what are our fixed bills every month. How can we add up enough money to make sure that that is met and everything is a okay? You don't have to worry so much if already those monies, those funds are already separated. They're already to the side for not for the past, but for the upcoming future, for the upcoming future. And I think that's a really good approach. What says you? Let me know in the comment section below. But you know what I forgot to say? Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate everybody. Have an amazing, fantastic day.